Okay, I have started by clipping these artificial flowers off the ends. I reserved most of the leaves because they didn't fit in the mold. And I have a homemade mold here that I'm not sure what the flower is. I've called it a water lily, but I've heard it called other flowers. And I just turned them upside down and put them in here, and I'm going to pour the resin in, and I'm going to see what happens. Now, the resin I decided to use is bee resin. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. And I have a hunk of silicone that I'm going to use to weight down these flowers should they pop up. Because this is a homemade mold, it's not that great on the top, which winds up being the bottom of the flower. So I always have to sand it. Because when I was making it, it started leaking everywhere. And it was kind of a mess. All right, I'm going to pause you. Okay, now, as you can see, there's going to be a lot sticking up. I'm not going to fill it any more than that. I was going to put a hunk of silicone on the top to keep that weighted down, but it's very tightly packed in there. So I'm not going to have anything raising up. So I'm not going to put that on there. What I am going to do is once it hardens, I'm going to cut that off and then sand it. This way I can pop any bubbles that should come. I'm expecting that around the leaves there's going to be bubbles, but you know, there's usually like dewdrops on flowers and stuff. So, you know, I'll deal with that. I have no idea how this is going to come out. I'm hoping that because it's bee resin, it'll be nice and clear, but you never know. So I guess we'll see on demolding what it looks like. Hopefully it'll come out nice, and I do have extra resin left over. I only made up 7 ounces, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I wound up with 2 ounces extra, so I tinted some of the resin that I had left with some mica powder from Let's Resin, and I added glue. And so I'm making some pendants, which I know that's a mess. I used a homemade mold, threw some red in there that I had left over, made some turtles. The pendants that I did are these. These actually I turned into mood. I used some mood paint. These were black, and I painted with mood paint. As you can see, it'll change color with body heat. If you use a dark color and then you put the mood paint on, hit it up with some clear or UV resin, it will change with body temperature, which is nice. But those are the pendants that I'm making. But these are just going to be fire colors with the red and orange, or tangerine and, gosh, what is it that I used? Tangerine and crimson. So, by Let's Resin. So, let's let this set and see what we get. And here we have the final wrap-up. Here is the turtles that I did. The small turtles. I turned them into little earrings. And here's the larger turtle, which I'll turn that into like a little necklace. Oh, where did I pick up blue paint? Not sure where that came from. I have some little earrings here that I did from another extra. And then I have these little gems that I poured into this homemade mold. Oh, I gotta clean that off. What I did with this is when I made this mold out of the little gemstones, I had actually taken I had already pre-drilled holes in the gems. I unscrewed the ends and left the holes in, put it in upside down so that the holes were still in them when I placed them in the silicone. And if you can see down in, there's still a hole there, so that when I pop out the new resin, there is a soft spot in the new resin. And so when I go to when I go to put the new screw in, it's soft there and it has a mark, so I know exactly where to put the new screw in, and it goes in much easier, which is awesome. So I have these new little things I just need to file down the bottom, and then I'll hit it up with UV resin and make it nice and smooth. So those came out, okay, that kind of looks like candy corn though, doesn't it? It's weird. Okay, so now back with the water lily, or you know, other people call it, oh God, and I had the name and it's gone. Came out pretty good. There's lots of micro bubbles, as you can see. It's not too bad. The bottom, I've started trimming with the excess, as you can see. It's not too bad. I'll hit it up with UV resin or another resin to make it flat. I've trimmed off excess because I don't like the extra stuff hanging over the edge, but I do like the look of it. So next time I might put some leaves in here to make it a little less purple maybe. But I do like that it has that diamondy edge. It still showed up on this, even with the flowers inside. So I do like the look of that. It came out nice. I wish it was less bubbles, but I don't really think there's any way to avoid that. I had it up to the resin up to temperature. So, you know, there's really no way to avoid that when you have such a deep mold. You know, I've tried it using the deep pour resin, and I still wind up getting the bubbles. As you can see, I think it's just the mold itself. Maybe it's the homemade mold. Those are previous ones. I've never been able to avoid the micro bubbles, even using my debubbler. So I'm not sure why. Oh, and I also mentioned yesterday that I used glue. The reason I put glue in when I use two colors like that is to avoid mixing the two when I use two colors. It keeps them separate so that I don't blend the two colors together. Some people don't like it because they say it mutes the colors or dulls the colors down. I haven't found that yet. But I like it only because it will help you so that you can get a better marbling effect. So the general rule is 1 drop of clear glue per ounce of resin. So give it a try. Some people like it, some people don't. It's a personal choice. I have tried the glitz effect from Glitz and Glitter, and I haven't had any luck with it, but then again, I'm new at it. But head over and watch Michelle and Dawn. They're fantastic, Glitz and Glitter, and give it a try. But personally, I go for the glue, and Glitz Effect is now in the Urban Dictionary. Congratulations on that, Dawn. It's all fantastic. Yeah. So give it a try, and that's why I mentioned the glue, but I didn't give an explanation. So anyway, that's the result, guys. So I like it, and next time I'm going to try to put some leaves in the bottom ones and see what happens. So thanks for watching.